Hey, champion staff, we are on the edge of something truly incredible. It's called flipped classroom. What is it, and how do we get there? Well, first, we have to bust through this wall. So, what is flipped classroom? Well, flipped classroom means we just flip things around a little bit. It is flipping cool. And so, in the past, we always did our direct instruction right in school. If kids missed it or didn't listen or weren't paying attention or didn't get it, they didn't get to get it again unless we would do those direct instructions again and again and again. So with flipped classroom, we, the teachers, we make instructional videos which kids watch at home. And so when they come to school, they've already had that training. And then at school, we get to do this dynamic interaction where they apply what they learned in the video. And so the advantages of flipped classroom are gigantic. One is that there's more collaborative time between the students and the teacher, and there's more collaboration between students. It's mastery, 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 because kids are accountable. There's no way they can't miss these things because we will be on them. When they do watch those videos too, we always attach it to a form that makes them show that they understood the video. So that's where mastery fits in as well. And so for all those kids whose plan is to slip through the cracks, that plan isn't going to work for them anymore. They're going to experience success. Another cool thing is that when students are absent, then it's not a problem because that direct instruction is always there waiting for them in Google Classroom. So this is really cool. The question is, though, how do we begin to plan, for those videos and for orchestrating it all? And so how do we do that? That's the question. So I started my planning by thinking, what are the major categories that I want my students to learn in? And so one of them is read aloud time. Read aloud time is where I teach my kids what they need to think when they read. And so that's an important time for me. The reading strategies too will be another big category where I will be making those videos. Phonics strategies as well. And so that's third category, and then social studies and writing will be the last two categories where I will be making videos. So then I think within each of those categories, what is it I want my kids to be able to do? Because that's what's going to determine my video and how I make it, and also what I'm going to put on that Google form, which is going to show that they learned what was on the video. So that's the next step. So that's where my planning begins. And so that's step one. So let's start just by thinking of read aloud. And so what am I going to do? What am I going to put in my video? Now, keep in mind, one of the biggest challenges nowadays is that kids read the words and they don't know that they have to think when they read. And so good readers, I want them to transact with text. I want them to be driven by their questions, their predictions, their feelings and thoughts. So everything I do in that read aloud video and in the form that follows it is going to be try to enhance that. And so this is what my read aloud videos look like. So we're ready to start chapter 3. Now remember though, your most important job is to listen to the reading and be thinking about your questions, predictions, your feelings and thoughts, because that's what good readers do, but then to record it on the form sheet that this video is attached to, because then we'll have something to talk about tomorrow when we come back together again. Chapter 3 is called The Littlest Big Top on Earth. What a funny title. My neighbors here at the Big Top Mall know many tricks. One of my biggest goals for my students is how to use these videos. They do not just sit there and listen to them. And so I give directions before we read that as they read, I want them to stop the video, pause it, and then to record on their Google form their questions, their predictions, their feelings and thoughts. And so that's the whole focus of this form. And so you see the spot below where it says write your questions, predictions, feelings, and thoughts before, during the reading, and then at the end, it's at the end of the reading. Good readers are driven by what they know and wonder, and so they're to record the biggest thing they know and the biggest thing that they wonder. Now, the cool thing about this is that all of their writings will be transferred to one sheet. So tomorrow when we gather back together, whether it be online or in person, we're going to savor and share what people were thinking. Cool thing about reading is we don't all think the same thing, and yet we all do need to transact with text. And so as I do this day after day after day, it will be solidified that good readers do not just read the words. No, they think and they transact with text. So let's take phonics as another example. So over the years, I did a lot of teacher training, and so I wrote books for teachers. The last book I wrote was Phonics Strategies for the Literature-Centered Classroom. My mission in teaching was to help every kid read. And I tell you, there were so many kids, especially boys, where all the stuff we did to them made no sense at all. And my mission was to rescue them. And so my belief with phonics is, you know what? Phonics is so important. It's one of those incredible strategies that you put in your little bike basket as you ride that bike of reading down the highway. I mean, it's an important tool, and you know what? It's got to be simple, and it's got to be a usable plan. And so I've diminished it down to 3 simple strategies that can help kids read absolutely anything. And so we'll take a quick look at those and then see how that works into my flipped classroom lesson. So the first strategy is just simply one vowel in the word. And if a word has one vowel in it, you know what? The vowel sound is going to be short. And so on their practice sheets, they will read words, like this: strip, cliff, trick. The goal in this is not just to know the one vowel in the word rule, but the goal in this strategy in this chapter is to put those letters in order, because that's setting them up to be able to read the big words that are coming, that they'll be dividing into syllables, because they're really going to need to know how to put those letters in, or progressively get harder as the chapter goes on, so that kids are sort of gradually climbing that mountain to get more adept at using these skills. So you can see on this page, there's a lot more letters in each one vowel in the word. And so even for kids that are quite able, boy, that's a lot of letters to put in order. And so my goal is that they get fast at just automatically putting those letters in order. And so this one vowel in the word chapter is really setting the stage for them to be able to do well when they start dividing words into syllables. So the next rule is a syllable dividing strategy, and it's vowel, consonant, consonant, vowel. That means if you have 2 or more consonants in between 2 vowels, 2 things happen. One is that first vowel, it's going to be short, and you're going to divide the word after that first consonant. So if we look at the words on this list, yep, we're going to divide it there. And so kids learn to look at words 1 syllable at a time. Kitty, rocket, bobbin, thistle, velvet. And so you might not need this strategy on these 2-syllable words, but you know what? When they get to 5-syllable words, they need to know this strategy. And so this is a really important strategy. A lot longer, a lot harder, but the same strategy: flummox, stucco, fodder, suspend, gullet, frazzle, thrifty. And so beautiful strategy. And this is like the best strategy for kids to look at words 1 syllable at a time, because I know we have a lot of 6th graders and 7th graders and 8th graders who do not divide words into syllables, and you watch them guess like heck when they're trying to say those bigger words. One consonant in between 2 vowels, and so it is right down here. It's vowel, consonant, vowel. Well, this rule, it's so common in words, and so kids really need to know this strategy, but it's not as friendly as the second strategy, because this one is where the first vowel, the vowel could be long and it could be short. Like, look, here's vowel, consonant, vowel, and it's flavor. But then here's vowel, consonant, vowel in this word, and it's salad. And so what my kids have to know in this strategy is, you know what? It could be long and it could be short. So let's look at the middle word or the middle row. So so what I'm teaching my kids there is if you see vowel, consonant, vowel, A, you divide it before or after the consonant, and B, you need to know that it could be long and it could be short. Like look at the first word here in this middle row. It could be taper or tapper. And look at this one. It could be planet or planet, meter or meter, talent or talent, shaddy or shady. Because half the time that first vowel is long and half the time it is short. Strategies together, and this is at the end of the chapter. And you know what? This is where we want all of our kids at Champion School. We want them all to be able to do by the time we are done with them. And so that's where you're taking, here it's vowel, consonant, vowel. Here it's vowel, consonant, consonant, vowel. So in other words, they are using those dividing strategies that they learned on little words. And then in this chapter, it starts out easy, but gradually builds to this stage where the words are a lot harder. And the reason I'm showing you all of this is I would be happy to share with the whole Champion system all my videos and all these sheets so that we can have all of our kids leave our school being able to read anything. So knowing that, what might we want a flipped classroom video on phonics to look like? Let's take a quick peek. Hey class, we are going to learn just 3 simple phonics strategies this year, which are just plans for knowing what words are, that will help us read words like this. But we're going to start out easy. We're going to start out with the easiest strategy. And so if you look at these 4 words, what do they have in common? Yeah, they all have one vowel in the word. And you know what happens when a word just has one vowel? Usually it has a short vowel sound. And so then if we take a look at these 4 words, you've already watched the video on what the short sounds are, so you know what sounds they make. So you just put the letters in order. And so if we look at them, we go map or boss or path or slam. And so if you put those letters in order, shoot, you know how to read, because all the other strategies we're going to learn build on your being able to put these letters in order. Next step is to go to the Google form, and then if you look at this first question, in fact at the top it says one vowel in the word makes a short sound, and then look at these words and tell what vowel sound they will have and why. So you're going to write on this line what it is that you see about that word, what pattern you see in that word. And so explain it. And so that's the next step. You are going to practice that strategy and get so fast at using it. And so there are some helps on every page, like it has the short vowel sounds and the long vowel sounds. So if you forget what like short A has, you look up and see, oh, it's like in bat, eh, or short E like in bed, so it's eh. Short I like in fish, so it's eh. Short O like in top, so it's ah. And short U is like in duck, so it's ah. So if you forget those short vowel sounds, just look up at the top of the page to help memorize what they are. And over on this side are the 3 phonics strategies we're going to learn this year. And one of them that we're on right now is one vowel in the word is short. It has a short sound. And so what you are going to do now is read these words, not just once, but many times. And so your goal is to get like lickety-split fast on it. So here you're going to go put the letters in order. Map, club, frog, cast, dress. So see how we just put those letters in order? And because these words all have just one vowel in them, they're all going to have a short vowel sound. Pet, fell, thick, dig, ink. And so what you might want to do is just focus on one of these rows and practice it again and again and again. And our goal is that you go this fast. Map Club, Frogcast, Dress, Pet, Fell, Thick, because you want to just be automatic at putting those letters in order. And then when you think you're really good at a page, you're going to have some adult or a big brother or sister time you. And so they're going to look to make sure you say the words right. But I think we'll time in like 15 seconds. And how many words can you read in 15 seconds? And so you want to do is get faster and faster and faster. And so you're going to record those words that you did in 15 seconds on your Google form that goes along with this. And that way we're going to have a beautiful record as your year goes on. Not only will you start doing harder and harder words, but your speed will go faster and faster and faster. So once again, your job now is to read these words as fast as you can, but make sure you look at the letters and put them in order. So this is going to be awesome. So you can start reading these. So now that we're this far along, let's just take a look at WeVideo and how we can possibly use that. Notice at the top there are all these different categories, and if you want to make a video, which is usually where you kind of start, you click on Dashboard. And so under Dashboard, you have all the things that you have recorded, over the last few days. And so the one thing we can do, we could hit record, although I'm already recording this, so I'm not so sure that that's going to work. Yeah, it says recording in progress. So when you do hit record, though, you have a lot of choices. You can do it webcam, which is just you. You can do screen and webcam, and you can also just do screen. And so when you go through that process, then you can choose whatever tab that's on your computer that's open to put on your screen. And so in this case right now, I chose the WeVideo tab because that's the one that I'm filming. So, that's kind of cool. So once you've recorded and made a video, then what you can do is just drag it down to all these tracks that are below. So see all these tracks below, video 1, video 2, audio 1, audio 2. You can add tracks too. See this little plus sign there? So if you wanted to have 3 things going at once, that's really cool how you can do that. So let's drag this horrible picture of this person down here to video 1. And so there it's there. Now, if I wanted to add music to this, then I would check on, yeah, see, this isn't working very well because it's already recording and in progress. But it's very cool how this all works. We can have 2 videos or 2 tracks going on at once. And so, for example, if I wanted to change anything, you always double click on it, and then you can make the picture smaller by going on this scale, and then you can do save changes. So then if you look on this box up here, let's see, where did it go? I'm going to click on it again. Maybe I made it too small, so it disappeared. Oh, there it is right there. Okay. So it is here. The picture should be showing, but I think because I'm already recording this, it's not working like it normally does. So as you are working, you can do so many things. You can ask for transitions between little parts of your video. You can add audio. So let's say we want to add some music to this one. Okay. That sounds kind of cool. I think we'll drag this one down to the audio track. Now, when you record, you can also just choose narrate. So you can add your narration. If suppose you put all your video clips together and you want to narrate over them, you can just start at the beginning, and then as as your screen follows along, you can add the words to fit it. So, I mean, it is so amazing and easy once you get the hang of a few things. Now, one thing I did was there are beautiful tutorials on YouTube, so I watched them again and again and again and got the hang of a little more. I still have a lot of questions, so I want to learn from everyone, but I want you also to know that I'm available at school till school starts, so I'd be happy to help anyone as you work through this. It records your projects. Well, no, it's not letting me because I'm recording this, so I'm not as free to show what I want to show just because of that. You can add transitions, backgrounds. I mean, there's so many things you can do on WeVideo. So, I mean, it's just a beautiful, simple way to make our flipped classroom videos. Hey, thank you for joining us on this little video. This is Roxy. I put her to sleep. I hope I didn't put you to sleep too, but you know what? We're in this together, and we're going to just make this be so amazing and so awesome for students. I will end this with my phone number and email and all this stuff, and I'm most willing to help you any step of the way, and I'm going to learn from you too, because, man, we're all learning a lot in this process, but oh my gosh, we're going to make this giant difference for all the kids at Champion School. So we'll be seeing you soon. Thanks. Good luck. Bye. We are already up to chapter 4. It's called Shape in Clouds. I think I've always been an artist. Even as a baby, still clinging to my mother, I had an artist's eye. I saw shapes in clouds and sculptures in the tumbled stones at the bottom of the stream. I grabbed at colors, the crimson flower just out of reach, the ebony bird streaking past. I don't remember much about my early life, but I do remember this. Whenever I got the chance, I would dip my fingers into cool mud and use my mother's back for a canvas. She was a patient soul, my mother. Someday, I hope I can draw the way Julia draws, imagining worlds that don't yet exist. I know what most humans think. They think gorillas don't have imaginations. They think we don't remember our past or ponder our future. Come to think of it, I suppose they have a point. Mostly, I think about what is, not what would be. I've learned not to get my hopes up. When the Big Top Mall was first built, it smelled of new paint and fresh hay, and humans came to visit from morning till night. They drifted past my domain like logs on a lazy river. Lately, a day might go by without a single visitor. Mac says he's worried. He says, I'm not cute anymore. He says, Ivan, you've lost your magic, old guy. You used to be a hit. It's true that some of my visitors don't linger the way they used to. They stare through the glass, they click their tongues, and they frown while I watch my TV. He looks lonely, they say. Not long ago, a little boy stood behind my glass, tears streaming down his smooth red cheeks. He must be the loneliest gorilla in the world, he said, clutching his mother's hand. At times like that, I wish humans could understand me the way I can understand them. It's not so bad, I wanted to tell the little boy. With enough time, you get used to almost anything. My visitors are often surprised when they see the TV Mac put in my domain. They seem to find it odd, the sight of a gorilla staring at tiny humans in a box. Sometimes I wonder, though, isn't the way they stare at me, sitting in a tiny box, just as strange? My TV is old. It doesn't always work, and sometimes days will go by before anyone remembers to turn it on. I'll watch anything, but I'm particularly fond of cartoons with their bright jungle colors. I especially enjoy it when someone slips on a banana peel. Bob, my dog friend, loves TV almost as much as I do. He prefers to watch professional bowling and cat food commercials. Bob and I have seen so many romance movies too. In romance, there's much hugging and some face licking. I have yet to see a single romance staring at a gorilla. We also enjoy old Western movies. In a Western, someone always says, "This town ain't big enough for the both of us, Sheriff." In a Western, you can tell who the good guys are and who the bad guys are, and the good guys always win. Bob says Westerns are nothing like real life. I've been in my domain for 9,855 days alone. For a while, when I was young and foolish, I thought I was the last gorilla on earth. I tried not to dwell on it. Still, it's hard to stay upbeat when you think there are no more of you. Then one night, after I watched a movie about men in black hats with guns and feeble-minded horses, a different show came on. It was not a cartoon, not a romance, not a Western. I saw a lush forest. I saw birds murmuring. I heard birds murmuring. The grass moved. The trees rustled. And then I saw him. He was a bit threadbare and scrawny and not as good looking as I am, to be honest, but I'm sure enough, he was a gorilla. As suddenly as he had appeared, the gorilla vanished, and in his place was a scruffy white animal I learned was a polar bear, and then a chubby water creature called a manatee, and then another animal, and then another. And all night, I sat wondering about the gorilla that I had glimpsed. Where did he live? Would he ever come to visit? If there was a he somewhere, would there be a she as well? Or was it just the two of us in all the world, trapped in our own separate boxes? And so that's the end of chapter 4. So please, on your form, Google form that's attached to this video, record everything all your predictions, your questions, your feelings and thoughts, and what you know and what you wonder, because you know what? That is just what good readers do. And tomorrow when we get back together again, we'll talk about all your good thoughts that you put on your Google form. So awesome. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks. Bye.